Hey everyone, and welcome to the Understanding Behavior live stream. We've got a kick-ass presentation for you tonight. We are reviewing measurement. I know this is a topic that a lot of students struggle with, so I'm so glad you're here to catch up on the difficult stuff. We always have the good goods for you here in Understanding Behavior. So don't fret, we're going to teach you exactly what you need to master this topic. Well, how's everybody doing tonight? How we feeling? We grooving? Couple things before we get started. You may have seen this week that we just released the critically acclaimed. Everybody's been waiting so long for this. Beat the Beast 3 is now out and live. You can find it on understandingbehavior.shop, and it is the same price as all of our other mock exams, just $50 to take this mock. And so far, we just released it, I think, a day or two ago. And we, the data so far is looking like this might actually be the hardest Beat the Beast mock yet. I think we've had 6 people submit their exam so far, and we haven't seen a score above 65%. So I think it's it might be our most difficult. I think there's a couple people here that have taken it already. Yeah, Tian, saying that she had to pause the mic. It was a difficult one. So yeah, just heads up if you're looking to get an extra good challenge. Beat the Beast 3 is here, ready for you. And I'm curious to see what you guys think about it and how you'll do on it. I'm really curious to get some more data on it and see if it continues to be too hard. Maybe we need to adjust the difficulty on it. I don't know, but either way, I hope you guys are enjoying this resource so far and hope that it is gonna for sure. Yeah, I know there's some lengthier questions in Beat the Beast 3 too. It's a lot of people were telling me that, like, hey, we have too many short questions in the Beat the Beast mock. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll add some more longer ones with some longer answer choices. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about it and to get some additional data on that. We've got Aiden here in chat. Hi, just popping in to say hi. I'm going to miss being in here every Thursday, but I'll pop in every once in a while. Aiden, I know, just passed her BCBA exam, so congratulations to Aiden. So glad that you're here, and thanks for popping in and for all your support, and huge congrats on passing your exam. That's amazing. Woo, 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 woo. We'd love to see it. We've had a lot of new BCBAs, and I feel like every week we get a lot of new BCBAs, but a lot of cool ones, a lot of longtime UB people just passing their exam, so really great to see. Love to see that as well. Also, with the release of the Beat the Beast 3, we did a couple little updates to the Super Ultimate Mock Bundle as well as the Complete Beast Mode bundles. So we adjusted the pricing a little bit on these, but they now include that additional mock in there. So Super Ultimate Mock Bundle now comes with all 3 Beat the Beast mocks and the mini mocks. The Complete Beast Mode bundle comes with all 3 mocks, the Beast Slayer course, which is our critically acclaimed, amazing course that will teach you everything that you need, our fluency questions, as well as our mini mocks for mastery. So if you're really looking to get some thorough studying in and are determined to pass, the Complete Beast Mode bundle is the way to go. If you're just looking for an extensive amount of mock practice, the Super Ultimate Mock Bundle is a great option to give you all of our full-length mocks as well as our mini mocks. So we're just catching up in chat. Nice, Katarina's loving the Beast Slayer course. Love to see that. Aiden, yeah, the real exam is hard for sure, but you made it, so you never have to take it again. You're done, you did it. It's amazing. All right, well, like I said, today we are going to go over measurement. Again, tends to be a trickier topic for students. If you haven't yet, make sure you guys are clicking that like button as well. We'll do some giveaways today. I think we'll give away some copies of Beat the Beast 3 or do some other giveaways as well. So make sure you're hitting that like button, and the earlier that we get that like counter up, the faster we'll do some juicy giveaways. And yeah, tonight we're going over measurement. If you don't know me, my name's Nick Ostosh. I saw we had a couple first timers here as well, so welcome if this is your first time. And yeah, to trigger those giveaways, let's hit that like button. And I mean, to celebrate the Beat the Beast 3, we'll make the first giveaway pretty early. So I think once we get to a specific number, let's see if we get it soon. I mean, we're like pretty close. But if we get that number, we'll give away a mock pretty early, and we might even do several different giveaways tonight. Well, it looks like we just hit it. I was looking for that first 50 like counter. We've got 109 people here. We just met 50 likes on the video. So why don't we go ahead and we'll start off this night with a Beat the Beast 3 giveaway. Again, this is our newest mock exam, and it's turning out to be pretty brutal. So I'm curious to see some more data and how well you guys do on this and your opinions on it overall. So we'll start it off with a Beat the Beast 3 giveaway. If you want to participate, enter a number in, between 1 and 600, and we'll give away our mock to kick this evening off. You can put in your guesses now. Only one guess per person. Multiple guesses will be disqualified, so make sure you're only putting in one. And yeah, let's see what we got. Nice, Alyssa. 4 is my lucky number too. Such a good number. Such a perfect number. Cool. We'll give you guys another 30 seconds or so. Get your answers in. Nice. This is your soccer number? Heck yeah. I'm just like a music nerd, so like everything's like in 4/4. So I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. I like 4. It's a good number. Anyway, cool. Yeah, lots of guesses here. Lots of people eager to learn some measurement. I love to see it. We're going to close this off in just a few seconds. Remember, 1 guess per person. All right, we're going to make Tiara S our last guesser here. Here we go. Our number is 37. All right, a low one today. 37. Okay, I see Ashley Vanderbilt's got 32. Help me out. Let's find our winner right here in chat. 32 is pretty close. Ashley Vanderbilt. 37, though. Let's see if anybody's closer. Jameson, always with the 69. Love it. My eyes are seeing Ashley Vanderbilt here. Katrina, you're going to do 35. Well, that would have been our winner, but it doesn't matter what you think what you were going to do. It matters what you did do. All right. I think it's Ashley as our winner here. All right. Congrats to Ashley Vanderbilt. Amazing. You can claim your prize. Just send me an email at understandingbehaviorofficial@gmail.com, and we'll set you up with that Beat the Beast 3 after the stream. Excellent. Love to see it. We'll do some more giveaways, so make sure you're not slowing down on that like counter, and we'll do some more giveaways throughout this presentation. But let's get to the reason that we're all here today, or at least I think you're all here for. We're talking measurement. Let's do it. Let's start off with talking about why is measurement important. So measurement helps add objectivity to psychology. Where like many other forms of psychology like really like don't measure behavior at all, which is like kind of weird, especially when you've been in our land for so long. But it's really important because it actually looks at this objectivity and like, hey, are things actually changing the way that we intend them to? It also adds clarity of the target behavior for change. So to measure a behavior, we have to define a behavior. So what actually entails this behavior, what is not included in this definition of the behavior, and we could become very clear about like, hey, what is this and what is it not? Measurement also allows us to analyze progress of behavior. So again, lots of other forms of psychology won't measure progress in very measurable ways. So measurement is important so we can actually see like, hey, are these changes occurring? Are we seeing desirable effects and all of that jazz? All right, we've got another person in chat, Shay Hawkins. She just passed the BCBA exam. She says UB definitely helped. The rationale, people, yes, rationales all day. Here to stay sharp until you take the BCBA. Thanks, Nick and team. Yay! I'm so glad, Shay. Congratulations on your huge win. And yeah, I'm glad you're here to get nerdy with us. And let's prep you for that BCBA now. Heck yeah, congrats. All right, and yeah, this is referring to section C if you're following along on the TCO. So let's talk about how do we pick measurement procedures. There are two key things that you really want to pay attention to when choosing your measurement procedure. The first one is measurement validity. So measurement validity refers to whether or not our measurement system captures a relevant dimension of the behavior for change. So if you're remembering anything about this measurement validity, think about it as a relevant dimension of the behavior. So this is always going to be like in alignment with the goal or what we're trying to actually change about the behavior. So for example, like if I'm trying to change like how much water I drink in a day, I might not want to track just like how many cups I'm drinking, because like cups are all like different sizes. I might want to measure that in like ounces or liters of water per day. So think about like, does our measurement system actually capture the goal that we're trying to change about the behavior? The next thing that we want to look at is the ability of our data collector. So can the data collector reasonably take accurate data given their other responsibilities? Some data measurement procedures are a little bit more intensive than others. So we want to pick measurement procedures that are going to be viable within the natural environment for the person who is actually taking data. So focus on these two main things and you're going to be groovy for our picking our measurement systems. The most important thing to focus on is this measurement validity. And we're going to talk about each of our measurement procedures and what kind of situations that each one is valid for. Let's kick off with a question and see how you guys do on this one. So let's get some rationales ready to go here. This is one of our Instagram questions. We have rating scales for our difficulty ratings for our questions. This is a medium one, so a little bit on the more difficult end. Excuse me. We've got Clark is a 3-year-old with autism who has frequent episodes of screaming. During the assessment, Mom reported that sometimes he only screams for a few seconds, but an episode will last anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes. In your own observations as the BCBA, your data matched Mom's report. Which of the following measurements would be invalid for this behavior when used alone? Let's go ahead and get some answers, get some rationales. I'm gonna grab some cough drops real quick. I just realized my throat's a little bit sore. So I will be right back while you guys are filling out some answers and rationales. All right, let's see what you guys got. What you guys got? Oh, my camera like zoomed in on me all weird. Let's see if I can make it undo it. I think that's how you do it. Might just get super zoomed in face on me. I think that's how I unzoom it. I don't know why I did that. I was thinking about it. There we go. So again, we're on this question. We're looking at which of the following is invalid for this behavior. And again, think about those two main requirements. We need, does it capture a relevant dimension of the behavior? And can we do it with the ability of our data collector? All right, we've got a lot of D's here. People saying momentary time sampling. We've got a few A's here as well. Couple C's, a little bit all over. Like I said, this is one of our more difficult questions. Loving some rationales coming through. Good job, Tyler, Cambry, Home Garden, putting some rationales. Donna, Shay, love to see some rationales. Ooh, I really like Shantae's rationale here. Give y'all a few more seconds and we'll answer this one. Ooh, Lena, I like where you're going with your rationale as well. And these rationales are super important, whether you're super confident or not. Like if you provide a rationale and get it wrong, you still get a really great learning opportunity because you invested a little bit more in the question. So it like might hurt a little bit more, but you're gonna learn more out of it. And we're here to learn, so that's all good. If you provide a rationale and get it right, then it's like sweet, we invested more, and that's response is gonna get even more strongly reinforced. So you can't lose by providing a rationale. It can only win. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. The answer is going to be A. Rate is not going to be a valid measurement in this situation. Let's talk about why. So we wanted to look at a couple of features of the behavior. So we have screaming. Sometimes it only occurs for a few seconds, but sometimes it lasts 5 to 30 minutes. Those are like pretty significantly different amounts of time, which means that we're going to want some unit of time to capture this. So if we only captured rate, let's say that there was 2 tantrums in an hour, well, or 2 screamings and like 2 screams within an hour, like, well, our data doesn't really tell us like, hey, was this like 5 seconds of screaming or was this like 60 minutes of screaming? And the rate just doesn't capture that for us, and that's what makes this an invalid measurement. If we know the duration, then we could know exactly how much time occurred on the screaming. So if it was 10 minutes, like it's a very clear picture about what that looked like. Partial interval recording and momentary time sampling are also estimations of duration of the behavior. So partial interval is going to overestimate that a little bit, but that's okay. We can still like get an idea like how much is occurring. Momentary time sampling might miss some of these, but since it's a longer duration behavior, momentary time sampling is a valid measurement procedure for this. So the best answer here is rate is going to be an invalid measurement. Again, because it doesn't tell us like how long the behavior is actually occurring. Cool. Yeah, and if you're like a little bit wishy-washy between your answers, again, that rationale is really the best way to counteract that, and you'll get more confidence with your rationales the more that you practice it. So this was a tough question. If you didn't get it, don't sweat it. We're going to give you all the information that you need to answer these types of questions as we move forward. So let's keep cruising. There are 2 main categories of measurement systems that we use. We have continuous measurements and discontinuous measurements. Our continuous measurements, they collect all of our relevant data. So all of the data relevant to the measurement system is going to be collected. And all of our continuous measurements are going to require constant observation of our individual. So if we're not able to constantly observe, or if we have a lot of things going on, continuous measurement might not be the best. But when we do have that and the data would be useful, then a continuous measurement can be great. Overall, continuous measurement systems provide you a more complete data set. So discontinuous measurements will provide you estimated data, where continuous measurements are more complete. Our discontinuous measurements are going to estimate our data through interval recording. So it's not going to collect everything. It's more going to be an estimation of our data. The main advantage of a discontinuous measurement is that it's going to make the job a lot easier for our trained data collector. So it's going to free up a lot of time. It's going to be less intensive than using a continuous measurement. And then discontinuous measurement creates what's known as a measurement artifact. We'll talk about these more when we get there, but essentially this is a misrepresentation of the data due to how that it's recorded. So we talked about earlier how partial interval recording tends to overestimate behavior. We would call that the measurement artifact. All right. So there are 5 main types of continuous measurements that we use. We're going to briefly go through these since you probably know the definitions, and then we'll spend a little bit more time on the juicy stuff. Frequency is simply the number of times a behavior occurs, and this is a type of event recording. Whenever you're referring to event recording, it's either going to be frequency or rate. The only difference with rate is that this is the number of times that a behavior occurs over a single unit of time. So this would be like per day, per hour, per session, per minute. So we're using like getting the number of times that it occurs and dividing it by that single unit of time. If we have multiple units of time, so let's say we had like 10 instances in 5 hours, then we would divide it by that unit, by like how many is in that unit of time to get it down to a single unit of time. So we would take 10 divided by 5 because there was 5 hours there, and then that would give us 2 per 1 hour would be our rate. So we always want to report with that single unit of time. Well, then we have a few different time-based measurements as well. We have duration. This is the time from the beginning to the end of a response. We have latency. This is the time from an onset of a stimulus and the start of the behavior. Note this is onset of a stimulus, so not necessarily an SD. This could also be an S delta. It could be an MO. It could be a prompt. It could be a rule. So make sure you're highlighting that in this definition. It's where a lot of people mess up. Then we have interresponse time, which is the time from the end of one behavior and the start of the next. So between responses, usually in the same response class, and how long it takes from one to the next. Alrighty. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about our dimensional qualities. Dimensional qualities are essentially like characteristics of our measurement procedures. So they relate to our measurement procedures, but they don't necessarily like completely define it. All of our measurement systems have one or more of our dimensional qualities. So let's go over the 3 main ones. We have repeatability, which refers to countability of the behavior. We have temporal extent. So this word temporal just refers to time, and then we have extent, which is like how long the time actually occurs for, usually again related to the behavior. Then we have temporal locus. So temporal again means time. Locus means like where in time, so like what point in time the measurement is occurring. Usually this is going to be like the time surrounding of a behavior. So temporal extent is like time of the behavior. Temporal locus is like time surrounding the behavior. One trick I like to use is think about it as like a locust swarm, where like a locust swarm is going to like surround something. So if we kind of put those terms together, we have like time surrounding behavior as our dimensional quality here. So each of our measurement systems here has one or more of these dimensional qualities. Let's go through each of them and see if you can label them. We'll start with frequency. So there may be one or more. So again, let's see your answers for frequency. Which of our dimensional quality or qualities relate to frequency? Yeah, Kennery is asking if we're doing IOA for event recording, we could do either total, mean, or exact IOA, yeah. This presentation does not go over IOA, but we do have a nice review on YouTube as well as an even better review in the B-Slayer course. So make sure you're checking those out if you want that IOA review. All right, sweet. You guys are nailing this one. I see our light counter slow down a little bit. Remember, there's more giveaways on the line if we get that light counter to a super high number. So don't slow down on that. Hit the thumbs up for that. You guys are nailing this one. We have A, repeatability for frequency. So frequency refers to the countability of behavior. So repeatability relates very nicely. All right. How about rate? Which of our dimensional quality or qualities relates to rate? Or we've got a few A's, we've got a few B's, we got a few A's and B's, we got a few A's and C's. Oh man, which one is it? Or which ones is it? We are pretty split if it's A and B or A and C. Looks like more people are guessing A and B. We'll see what the right answer is. Okay, the correct answer here, first we have repeatability as a dimensional quality. So similar to frequency, it refers to the countability of the behavior. And our second one is going to be C, temporal locus. So let's say we have like 5 instances per hour. Then we have time surrounding that behavior. We have the whole hour, and then the instances are occurring within that hour. So we have time surrounding behavior, which makes temporal locus the second best dimensional quality to refer to here. So A and C for this one. B, temporal extent is not the correct answer because we're not looking at the actual duration of the behavior. We're looking at time surrounding behavior. All right, let's look at our duration. Which dimensional quality or qualities relates to duration? Yeah, so again, B is not relevant to rate because rate is just going to tell you 5 per hour, not like, hey, those 5 instances took the whole hour. That would be more of like a temporal extent. If we said like the 5 instances took the whole hour, because then we're looking at how long the behavior occurred. All right, nice. You guys are nailing this one. Looking good, looking good. Cool, I'm glad that's clicking for y'all. It's totally okay to get things wrong here. We're all here to learn. Just if you're actually learning, then that's great. If, like changing what you know, that's what we want. That's what we're here for. Okay, for duration, our dimensional quality is going to be simply temporal extent. So temporal extent is looking at how long the behavior is occurring and how much time. Excellent. All right, how about latency? Which dimensional quality or qualities relates to latency? Looking pretty good here. Looking good, looking good. Ooh, nice. So like Alyssa's even got a rationale here, standing out in the crowd. Extra cool points for Alyssa. Looks good here, crew. This one is going to be C, temporal locus. So again, we're looking at time surrounding behavior with this one. It's that time between the onset of a stimulus and the beginning of the response. So we're looking at, again, the time surrounding behavior, not necessarily time of the behavior. All right, last one, we've got interresponse time. Which dimensional quality or qualities relates to interresponse time? We've got a lot of C's. We've got some B's and C's. We've got some A's and C's. This might be the one where you want to throw a rationale in here. Cool, yeah, Alyssa's got a rule out rationale here. I like that. Cool, Angelize, I like where you're going. Amy, I kind of like where you're going. Awesome, some great rationales coming through. Love to see it. Those are my favorite. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this one. Interresponse time. We have temporal locus is going to be one of our first dimensional qualities here because, again, we're looking at time surrounding behavior. So this is the time between two different responses. So it's not time of the response, but time between the responses. And then we also have a second one here, but this is only a sometimes one. We also have repeatability depending on how your IRT data are reported. If you have the raw IRT data, you can have repeatability as one. We'll talk about this a little bit more as we get into when we talk about IRT, but there's actually a really cool formula where if we have number of IRTs plus 1 equals frequency. So it does give us countability of the behavior in that regard. I'll show you a really quick finger trick with that. So let's say I have 4 fingers up and each finger is an instance of the response. We have 3 in-betweens on that. So these are going to be the IRTs, which are those gaps in between. So 3 in-betweens, if I take my plus 1, then I get my frequency. It's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So number of IRTs, we have 3 plus 1 is always going to equal our frequency, which makes repeatability sometimes an dimensional quality of IRT if we have our raw data. So tricky there. Yeah, not here to make you feel dumb, but it's kind of an abstract thing. I actually don't think they mentioned this in Cooper at all, so don't worry about that too much. But just note, if you have the raw data, repeatability is also the dimensional quality because we can solve it with that little easy formula there. Cool. Either way, so if you have the raw data or usually IRT is reported as an average, you still have temporal locus. All right. Nice job there, crew. Those are tricky, but we're moving into another tricky section. This is a topic that is highly underestimated, and it gets students in a lot of trouble. So we're going to talk about the differences between frequency and rate and how you're going to use them in different situations. Let's do it. So as we mentioned earlier, frequency is the number of times a behavior occurs. When we talk about the utility of each of these measurement procedures, we're going to be referring to what situations is each one valid for. So for a frequency, this is good for behaviors that last about the same duration per instance. So for example, if I'm looking at a punch, every punch is half a second long. So each behavior is about the same duration because each one is about half a second. If I look at like gym workouts, as long as like my gym workouts are like usually about the same each time, then the frequency might be a valid measurement for that. So like I always do like the same routine. So if I do like an upper body day, it's always like the same upper body day. Or if I do a leg day, like it's about like the same leg day each time. So I can say like, hey, I did like two upper body days and like two leg days this week. And as long as they're about the same duration each, then frequency would be a valid measurement there. For frequency, compared to rate, this is better used for looking at like the total numbers of behavior as opposed to the speed of the behavior. So I might say like, hey, I went to the gym 2 times this week, as opposed to saying like I went like an average of like 2 times a week. I guess it doesn't really matter too much for that one. I'll give you a better example. So let's say that I did like 4 workouts, rather than saying like I did like 5.5 workouts per hour or something. So if I'm just like considerate of like how many did I do and not like how fast I completed them, then frequency is going to be a better measurement system. For frequency, if our observation period is always the same duration, we can use this over rate. So for example, like if I always have a 30-minute session, then I can use frequency and compare the data in a valid way. But if our sessions might vary in duration, so let's say like sometimes the session is like 30 minutes, sometimes it's 45 minutes, sometimes it's 60 minutes, then I'm going to want to use rate to kind of like equalize that unit out. Because if I said like, hey, I engaged in 2 behaviors in 30 minutes, but 8 behaviors in 60 minutes, then those data become really more difficult to compare unless I convert them to a rate. So if our observation periods are different, we're going to want to use rate. But if they're the same, if it's always 30 minutes, then frequency is totally fine. All right, looking at rate. So this is, again, the number of times the behavior occurs over a single unit of time. The utility, kind of the same as frequency. So we want to use it for behaviors that last the same duration per instance. As opposed to frequency, where this is best for the total number of behaviors, this is better used for capturing the speed of the behavior. So how quickly is the behavior occurring rather than like what number it occurred. And then if we have different observation periods that differ in duration, we need to use rate over frequency. So again, if we have like the 30-minute session versus the 45 versus 60-minute session, then we need to use rate to equalize that unit out. Catching up in chat here. So yeah, Alyssa was asking about the workout exercise. So if it's the same exercises, so if you go 2 times in a week but do the same exercises, is that considered frequency too? So yeah, if I go 2 times in a week and I do the same exercises, as long as like that took about the same amount of time, then I can just say like, yeah, I lifted twice. Then frequency is totally cool there. If I said like an average of 2 per week out of like a whole month or like a whole 6-month period or something, then that would be more like a rate. But so either or would be valid to capture. It kind of just depends on if we're concerned about like what happened in like the 1 week or the 10 days or the 30 days or whatever, or if we are want to look at like the average across a longer period of time. All right, we got another question. Darla saying, so if you're tracking something like weekly progress of behavior, you can track using frequency versus using rate to track differing times. So again, it depends on like what you want to measure. So if you're looking at like how many per week, you could do that as frequency or you could do that as rate. If I wanted to look at if I wanted to just look at 1 week, frequency would be the best way to do it. But if I wanted to look at the average across like 5 weeks, then you would probably want to get a rate of that. So let's say like, hey, like this week I lifted twice, but over the last 5 weeks I lifted 12 times. Then I would want to take that rate if I was looking at like the period for the whole 5 weeks. If I want to get like my average, it would take 12 divided by 5, and then I get 2.4 lifts per week on average. So again, it kind of just depends, like what you're actually trying to compare. Don't assume anything, Darla. So yeah, it kind of just depends on like what the phrasing that they give you. We're gonna go through some examples in just a sec to kind of give you a clearer picture about what this might look like. So all these next examples, you're either going to use frequency or rate, and I want you to use that information that we just looked at and tell me how if we should use frequency or rate to measure this. Very thematic. We just had 4th of July last weekend. So Johnny asks, how many hot dogs you ate at the 4th of July party? Should this be reported as frequency or rate? Good. I like where these answers are going. Good. Yeah, Tyler, I really like that rationale. Yeah, Courtney as well. Good. Ariel looks great. Yeah, Amy right on track. Yeah, there you go, Katarina. You're looking great, crew. Nice job. Okay, so this one is going to be frequency. Frequency is totally valid here because we are just looking at the total amount of hot dogs. We're not concerned like how long the party lasted. Like we just had this one observation period. So it's like at the party is our observation period. And again, we're just concerned about total amount, not necessarily speed. So like if I asked you like, hey, how many hot dogs did you eat? And I was like, I ate 1.3 per hour. Like, hey, that's just weird. Like, that's not what I asked you. It's like, how many total did you eat? It was like, oh, I ate 5 or whatever. Good job here, crew. That was great. All right, next one. Joey Chestnut compares how quickly he eats hot dogs across different competition durations. What do you guys think? Frequency or rate for this one? Sweet, like where we're going. Looks good. Alyssa's been on those rationales tonight. Yeah, we pounded glizzies in tonight's presentation. Good. Yeah, I like where we're going here. Yeah, so a couple things on this one. Rate is going to be our best answer. So we're looking at the count and we're looking at over a unit of time. The thing here is that our observation durations are always different. So we need to use rate over frequency. So if I were to say like 50 hot dogs in a 10-minute competition versus 60 hot dogs in a 13-minute competition, well, those like values become really difficult to compare. But if we have those at like a number of hot dogs per minute, then we can make those much easier to compare. Good. Heather wants to track instances of aggression across our ABA sessions. Should we use frequency or rate for this one? I bet I could eat 15 hot dogs in 5 minutes. Maybe not. That's a lot of hot dogs. 3 per minute. I could eat a lot. You're not 5. If I had 6 or 7 minutes, I think I could nail 15 down. If I was like really hungry. Good. I like where these answers are going. Good job, Nicole. Yeah, good, Danielle. There you go, Lena. Ooh, Cambry, which one do you think is more likely? Yeah, good, Katarina. Nice, Shantae. Looks great. Awesome, awesome. I'm loving these. Good job, Courtney. All right, sweet. So when we're working in ABA sessions, our times are just gonna naturally vary. Like even if we have the same amount of time planned each day, like there's gonna be things that mess with that. So like kids are gonna get sick. We gotta like leave early. If we got a doctor's appointment or whatever. So we're just gonna use rate and assume that we might have some differing durations. Again, when we go back to our utilities here, it says we can use if the observation period is always the same. But for rate, like we're gonna have to use, if the observation periods can differ or might differ, it's just safer to use rate. So rate is gonna be the best answer for this one since our sessions are just likely to fluctuate in time naturally. All right, cool. Let's go over our next one. Bethany wants to track how many flashcards she can accurately answer in 2 minutes. Should we use frequency or rate for this one? What do you think? Let's see those rationales. We got most people saying rate here. We've got a few frequencies. Let's see some more rationales. Cambry, does she? Ooh, some good rationales coming through. Nice job, you, Lena. Good job, Lena. I love to see this just dense block of text here. That's amazing. Lots of good rationales coming through. Looked like rate was really popular at first, but we're getting some more frequencies coming up and some good rationales for it. Good. Yeah, nice for shown. Good, Will. All right, this looks awesome, crew. Nice job on this one. Best answer is going to be frequency. So tricky here. We had a time element, but our observation period is always the same. It's always going to be 2 minutes. So if she wants to track how many flashcards she's answering in that 2-minute period, then frequency is going to be the best answer. So if it's like 15 flashcards in 2 minutes, we don't necessarily need to reduce that down to a rate like 7.5 per minute. And again, that if we did reduce it down to a rate, it doesn't tell us how many she actually did in the 2-minute period. So frequency is the best answer because it's actually going to report on that total amount of the behavior. Despite the it being more than 1 minute here, not being a single unit of time. So again, main things to focus on are the observation periods. Are they always the same or are they different? If they're always the same, frequency is going to be more valid. Also, if we only have one observation period, like we had at the 4th of July party, then the frequency is going to be a better option as well. Good. Okay, last one here. Charlie wants to track spontaneous vocalizations across sessions for Billy. What do y'all think on this one? Yeah, if she was doing a percent of correct, then you would still take frequency of correct, and then you would take frequency of incorrect, and then you could calculate that. Nice. Answer's looking good here. I'm loving the rationales. Good. Yeah, Shinobu, I like where you're going. Trisha looks good. Yeah, nice, Kelly. Good job, Addie. Good to see you here. Yeah, there you go, Valerie. Okay, this one is going to be rate. So another one where we're doing it across ABA sessions, and again, these sessions are just naturally likely to fluctuate in duration, so we're going to want to use rate to kind of get ahead of that one. Awesome. Looks good here, crew. Again, frequency and rate tends to be very underestimated, so make sure you're spending some time with this one and really nailing these down. Really focus on the observation period is the main thing to nail down for these examples. All right. Well, you guys are an amazing crowd. We've got 81 likes on the video so far. 82. Amazing. I love to see it. How about we do a second giveaway for another Beat the Beast 3? How about for this one, we'll actually take the two closest numbers for Beat the Beast 3. So the two closest winners are going to win a copy of this one. Let's see what you got. We'll do, again, numbers 1 to 600. You're welcome to put those guesses in. No, excuse me. And we will do, one guess per person. Two closest are going to win the mock exam. Alyssa, stay with 4. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Mr. Fox. Well, I'm like pretty cool, I guess. We're probably gonna split up measurement into 2 different nights. So we'll get through a few more things tonight, and then we'll save the rest for next week. If you have the same number, that's fine. There's 2 winners for this one. Tomorrow's Friday. I guess you can still learn on Friday, but we'll be back next Thursday for the finishing measurement. Okay, last call for guesses here. I'm eagerly waiting for more Beat the Beast 3 data. I cannot wait to see who passes it first. Is anybody gonna get the 80% mark? All right, right now, we've had 6 test takers. Our highest score is a 65% on Beat the Beast 3. I am so anxious to see somebody score better. I'm like, did I make this one too hard? Oh no. Crystal actually did a lot of contribution on this one too. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see some scores and if we get some higher averages. All right, our number is 460. Let's see who's closest here. Help me out in chat. We're gonna pick our 2 closest. Ooh, we got Alyssa Brennan, 452. That's pretty close. At 460. At 445. Okay, that's not bad. 478. Okay, that's a little farther off. Anybody closer? Oh, we have 444. Oh no, that's one away. Oh wait, I'm seeing Addie 459. Okay, well Addie's definitely a winner. I think our winners are Addie Ramos and Alyssa Brennan. That's what I'm seeing. But help me out here. So we get two winners. We're gonna do the two closest. Addie definitely won. She was only one away. Welcome back, Addie. Huge win for your return. I love to see it. And I think Alyssa Brennan is our second one. She had 452. I don't see anything closer, but help me out here, chat. All right, I think we're going to send it off to those two. So congratulations to Addie Ramos and Alyssa Brennan. You just won yourself a copy of Beat the Beast 3. To claim your prize, just shoot me an email, understandingbehaviorofficial@gmail.com, and we'll hook you up. Yay! Congrats to you too. Okay, let's keep chugging along. We'll go a little bit longer, and then we'll wrap up stuff next week. Okay, next up we'll talk about duration. For duration, trust me, like the utility gets a little bit easier for some of these next ones. So frequency and rate is really like a tricky one. So duration, once again, is the time from the beginning to the end of the response. The utility, so we want to use this when how long the behavior is occurring is the most relevant dimension. And usually that's going to be when the behavior varies in duration pretty significantly across our instances. So we had our warm-up question where the kid was screaming sometimes for like a few seconds, but sometimes all the way up to 30 minutes long. That made duration the most relevant dimension because we wanted to know not just how many times it was occurring, but how long it was occurring. So like 10 minutes of screaming, that paints a really clear picture about how much screaming is occurring. But if I said 2 instances of screaming, that doesn't really paint a clear picture because like that could just be like 10 seconds of screaming, or that could be like a whole hour of screaming. So duration captures that way better because that behavior varies in duration. So we capture the duration and it works out all super dandy like. All right, so that's duration. Again, much simpler than our frequency rate stuff. I'm also looking at our like counter. We've got 91 likes, 121 people here. I think if we can get that like counter to 100, we might wrap up with one more giveaway. So don't slow down on those likes. Let's see if we can break 100 tonight. And if we break well beyond 100, we might even give away something better than just the Beat the Beast 3 mock. Maybe we'll give away like 2 mocks or something. We'll take the hearts, but yeah, the thumbs up is what's going to get the counter up. All right, let's talk about latency. Latency is the time from the onset of a stimulus to the beginning of the response. So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people mess up with this definition where they say it's the onset of an SD to the beginning of the response. Note that it could be any kind of stimulus. So you want to use the word stimulus here. This could be a rule, this could be an MO, this could be an S delta, this could be a prompt, this could be a whole lot of different things. So make sure you're using this word stimulus as a more broad definition. Oh my gosh, we already broke the 100. All right, if we can get this even higher, then we'll give away something really juicy. All right. So since this is tracking the time from the onset of a stimulus and the start of the behavior, we're going to want to use it when a behavior is occurring either too quickly or too slowly to a cue. So we've got our track runners here. They often measure like how quickly do they like get off the gun. So if it's too slow, then latency is going to be our most important measurement to capture like how slow that is. If they're too fast, well, then we'd have like a negative latency like before the queue even occurs, and that wouldn't be great. Here are some examples. So if a learner is slow to respond to an instruction, then we want to use latency to capture that. This is like my biggest pet peeve is like if somebody is really slow to push the gas pedal after it's green. It's like turns green, it's like 5 seconds before they hit the gas. I'm like, come on, dude. So usually like I use latency as a measurement. Like I'll like count to 3. I'll be like 1, 2, 3. If they like haven't moved at 3, like I honk them. So my biggest pet peeve, and I use latency to shape up behavior. That it's like don't take more than 3 seconds. Get off your damn phone and push your gas pedal. The light's green, and it's not going to be like green for long. So those are examples of responding too slowly to latency. This would be an example of responding too quickly to latency. So if I told you to wait 5 minutes and then you respond in 2 minutes, then you are responding too slowly, or sorry, responding too quickly, and we want to track latency. I'm not a big honker, but that's like my main. This is like the only situation where I like consistently honk people. Is like I give them the 3 seconds grace. I swear. So I give them the 3 seconds, but if they don't move in 3 seconds, I'm honking them. Sorry. Well, we will never give away tutoring sessions for our giveaways. Our tutors have precious time, and they have to get paid well. So. I'm not there with a timer, but I'm counting. I'm like 1, 2, 3. If they're on their phone, I'll honk it right away. Yeah, like get off your damn phone while you're driving. Alrighty. So that's latency. And then well, let's talk about interresponse time real quick. Interresponse time is the time from the end of one response to the beginning of the next response. So if we know where like the responses are occurring, then we can measure the IRT. So we have this calendar here. If I wanted to know like the IRT, like between like, let's say the purple dot is a particular behavior, then what I would do is I would just take like the time in between these. So one instance occur on the 9th, and then the next instance occur on the 13th. So we would say that there is 4 days IRT between these. So like we just take the 13 minus 9 to get that, which is 4. And our next IRT would be 7. So we have the 20, it occurred on the 20th and it occurred on the 17th. So our next IRT would be 7. So our first one is 4, and then our second one is 7. Then our next one is just 1 day in between. And then we have another one occur 5 days later. So we have 5 for this one. So this would be like all of our raw IRT data. We have 4, 7, 1, and 5 days for our purple dots. Usually our IRT is reported as an average IRT. So to get the average, we would want to add up all of our IRTs and then divide it by how many IRTs that we have. So why don't you go do that? Now, I'll get us started here. So we want to add these together. So we'll add 4, 7, 1, and 5 together. And then we need to take that number divided by 4. What do you guys get for that? I know the like counter is looking groovy. I don't think I've ever seen this many likes on one of our streams before. So shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing for really pushing it tonight. Nice. Yeah, good answers coming through. I like it. I like it. All right, looks really good. So if we add all these together, we get 17, and then we want to take 17 divided by 4, which equals 4 1/4, 4.25. Nice job here. So this would be, our unit here would be 4.25 days average IRT. So important to get those units into since we're looking at days, and then this is an average IRT. So note that we had 5 instances of behavior. So a lot of people will divide by the number of instances of behavior, but remember, you need to divide by the number of IRTs. So just keep an eye on that. It's a common way that students will mess up on calculating average IRT. We talked about earlier that IRT has this relationship with frequency, where we have this nice little formula, number of IRTs plus 1 equals frequency. So we can use that formula. We had 4 IRTs here, and we can count the purple dots to verify our frequency. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So formula works perfectly. 4 IRTs plus 1 equals our frequency. You have a question, how do you know when to round up or not? To be safe, I would always round to the nearest, but the exam is not going to give you like rounding error questions. So like they would not tell you like average IRT being like 4 and then 5 and then like the actual average being 4.5. Like they wouldn't do that for you. But round to the nearest, and usually like the answer is going to be pretty clear on the exam, so don't worry too much about that. All right, as far as the utility for IRT, so we'll use this when like the time between the behaviors is relevant. So if we want to see like if like too much time or too little time between the behaviors is going on, it tells us a little bit more info about the behavior than rate. So like with our IRTs here, especially with our raw data, like we can see that, hey, like between the 13th and the 20th, there was actually a really long IRT, and then we had a shorter IRT. Where if we just had the rate here, this might just say 5 per month. Where if the IRT actually tells us like how much time on average, as well as like where in time these behaviors are occurring. So like after this, the 20th, like there's only 1 day here. So like those behaviors were happening like pretty close together. Another common utility for Interresponse time is that we'll use this to set our criteria for our interval-based procedures. Usually this is going to be used for like a DRO or like an NCR or a DRL or a DRH. It's nice to know this average IRT, so we can kind of like base our initial criteria off of. So for example, if we have like the average IRT is 5 minutes, then we if we're doing a DRO or an NCR, usually we'll want to undercut that IRT a little bit. So we might make that 4 minutes or so. So really great utility. You can use it to set those interval-based procedures. Good question. Do I provide videos for ethics and supervision? Those are in the B-Slayer course. So if you want the juice on ethics and supervision, you gotta get the B-Slayer course. We won't be doing those on live streams. The main reason for that is I just don't really enjoy talking about those much. So I did the recordings and they're on there. You can watch them. But when I'm teaching live, I choose the fun topics, the ones that I like to teach you guys. So that's the main reason. All right. Let's talk about percent of occurrence, and then we'll do our final giveaway, and then we'll wrap it up for the evening. Actually, we're gonna save percent of occurrence and trial criterion in our discontinuous measurements for next week's presentation. So I think that'll give it enough juice. We might have too little content if we do these tonight. So 110 likes on the video. That is pretty amazing. So we're gonna make whoever wins this is actually gonna win the super ultimate mock bundle. So this is going to be all 3 of our Beat the Beast mocks, as well as our mini mocks in the new super ultimate mock bundle. If you need any of these components, you're more than welcome to participate in this to win. So thanks so much for going hard on that like button tonight. We'll send it back. We actually have more likes than viewers here tonight, so that's amazing. We'll do again random 1 to 600, and let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. If you have everything in the Super Ultimate Mock Bundle, I would prefer you not to participate. Sorry. This giveaway just won't be for you. Big prize here. It's $250 worth of products, but normally if you buy them separately, but if you buy them all together, it's $189 in products. Let's see how you guys do. One guess per person. Closest number's gonna win it. Alyssa, I see your number. No worries, no worries. All right, a few more seconds, and we'll draw our number. Thanks so much for all of your awesome participation tonight. This was a really fun class, and I love to see all the light bulb moments, and it was great to hang with y'all. We'll be finishing up measurement next week, so I hope to see you at that one. And if you're looking for some really quality study materials, you know, understandingbehavior.shop is the place to go. All right, let's go ahead and pick our winner. We're going to make Sada Payne the last guess here. Our number is 493. 493. Okay, who's closest? Help me out here, chat. Help me out. 493. I don't see... Oh, I see Jessica 488. That's actually pretty close. Jessica 488. Okay, who else? Ooh, Cambry was 485. Not quite as close. We got 493. I'm seeing Jessica might be our winner. Help me confirm here in chat, crew. 488. Julia's 501. That's not as close. 488 is closer. I think Jessica is our winner at 488. It's looking like it's getting confirmed. And we're going to give it to her. Congratulations to Jessica, the winner of our Super Ultimate Mock Bundle tonight. Amazing. To claim your prize, just go ahead and send me an email at understandingbehaviorofficial@gmail.com, and we'll hook you up with your Super Ultimate Mock Bundle. Comes with 3 mocks and our mini mocks with our toughest questions. Don't cry, or cry, I don't care. Whatever feels good. But congratulations to Jessica. I appreciate you coming tonight. And then we had a lot of winners tonight. We had Alyssa, we had Addie, and then I forget who our first winner was, but I'll remember when they email me. But if you won tonight, shoot me an email. We'll get you hooked up with your prize. Nice. Jessica is a Beast Slayer too. That makes her even more deserving of the Super Ultimate Mock Bundle. Love to see that. And if you're struggling to pass the exam, especially like if like other test prep materials haven't really worked for you, Behavior Beast Slayer course is the way to go. It's super interactive, super fun, super thorough, and engaging. Like I teach the whole thing, and it's really great. So appreciate you all. Go ahead and check out our stuff on understandingbehavior.shop. Keep attending our free study halls on Mondays and Wednesdays, and my streams on Thursdays. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. And yeah, if you want to get 15% off any code, any item on the shop, you can use the code UBNerd to get that 15% off. And I hope you all have a really great evening, and I will hopefully see you next week for measurement part 2. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye-bye.